Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kristen and today is Christmas in July video. I'm really excited about this. Almost everything you can find will be at the Dollar Tree. Right now, you don't have to wait till Christmas. I did use some things I had last year as well. This is a really fun collab with some of my really great friends here on YouTube. This is hosted by Shannon from The Daily DIYer and her Christmas channel, The Cozy Christmas Cottage. So I am super excited to see what everybody comes up with for Christmas in July. This really took some thinking because I am just not in the Christmas mood quite yet. You guys, let's jump in to Christmas in July. For this one, I will be making a huge snowman using this autumn welcome sign. I picked this up at a garage sale for $3. I knew I was going to eventually tear it apart and do what I wanted with it. I did end up taking this sign off the top after a while. After everything was done, I kept thinking that this was just not what I wanted it to look like. So you are going to be seeing that I kind of left everything as is, and I just started tearing all the leaves off, the scarecrow off, and they must use like puffy paint or something for the welcome words. I could not get this off. I ended up using a putty knife and scraping it off. But yeah, so this was like probably the most tedious part of this entire DIY. Once the tedious work was done, I just dropped a bunch of paint onto this sign. I'm just using the Waverly chalk paint in white. And then I did decide to paint the bottom of this black, and I'm just using the Waverly chalk paint in ink to paint the bottom. I'm going to be using this palette sign. This is from Dollar Tree and just some Walmart stir sticks that I've had. And I'm just going to be painting both of these black as well because this is what I'm going to be using for the snowman's hat. To make the snowman, I just use 2 packs of these burner covers or these stovetop covers from Dollar Tree and buttons for his body along with buttons for his face as well. I just use 3 larger buttons for the body and then 2 larger buttons for the eyes and then 5 smaller buttons for the mouth. And then I just end up using some felt for the nose. I did pick up these buttons at Dollar Tree a couple years ago, and I think the only time I actually use them is when I'm making a snowman. This felt actually has adhesive on the back. It is from Arteza. And then now once everything was dry, I just ended up putting the snowman together. So I'm just be using this long stake that was right down the center, and I'm just going to be putting the snowman together. So I just used a large stovetop cover or burner cover, whatever we call them. And then I just used the buttons for the center one, and then I'm just putting the face on the top, and the face is obviously the smaller burner cover. And then you're going to see here, I end up putting the hat together. So I don't know if you knew what I was doing with the hat, but I just used this for the top. And then I just used 2 of the stir sticks, the painter stir sticks, and glued them together just to make them a little more thick. And then I just glued this right to the top. So right here is where you're going to see, you're not going to ever see that sign again because right above the hat, I kind of started messing around with it, made a cute sign. It just did not look right. I really just wanted that gone. So you're not going to see that. I do not keep that. This is some checkered black and white ribbon from Dollar Tree as well. And the hat looked pretty plain. So I just ended up adding some ribbon, making a bow, adding a snowflake later on. And then, of course, we have our free sticks. Go find these outside. I also just added a scarf to him as well, and this was from Dollar Tree last year. And that is it for this snowman. He turned out so cute, and he is 3 feet tall. I think this is such a great idea to do. You could actually even take like a mop handle from Dollar Tree and use it as the back as well. And I just think there's so many different possibilities you could do if you do not have a sign or a large wooden stand from a yard sale. The next one, I'm going to be making a Christmas countdown. I'm just using some rub-on transfers and some of these little galvanized tags along with a summer sign and some nails, all from Dollar Tree. So you're going to need 20 of these little galvanized signs. They come in a 3-pack. And then I just cut out the rub-on transfers because I wanted 1 through 9 and then a 0 as well, so we can make a fun little Christmas countdown. And I did this 2 different times, so that's why you need 20 tags. then going back in with my Waverly chalk paint, I'm just going to be painting the back of this sign. I ended up changing my mind. I was just going to have it completely white on the back side, and then I decided to go in with some scrapbook paper for the front. So the back actually is not a summer sign. It is actually just plain white, which doesn't happen too often in my DIYs. If you guys have watched me before, you know whatever's on the back of these signs stays on the back of these signs. And I'm just using a glue stick, some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. I did end up cutting this side off and just using one piece of scrapbook paper versus using another. And this stays on really well. I know some people will say that glue sticks don't work very well. I think they work great. And then I'm just using my rotary cutter and cutting the edges off. Another little wood piece from Dollar Tree. I'm just painting this white. And then I'm going to go in with my Cricut and just write Christmas Countdown. I just found a fun little free image on Design Space. I love using my Cricut. I think it makes everything look more high-end. I think it makes it look clean and nice. And you don't have to use a Cricut if you don't have one. You could just go in with stickers or freehand it if you have really good handwriting. It doesn't matter what you use. I just think that using a Cricut makes it look more clean. I just glued the sign to the top of this sign, and then I just used my nails and hammered them down. I actually ended up bending them on the other side so they would stay and wouldn't poke you on the back side. And then I just started adding all of my numbers. So I just added 1 through 0, and I think this worked out really, really good. I think it turned out great. And like I said, I'm going to be using my Cricut for the top where it says Christmas Countdown, but you definitely don't have to use that. But I think this is super cute. I did want to find a way I can make it stand. I was thinking like wooden blocks from the Dollar Tree or whatever I had on hand. So I was like searching around, and if you have one of those fun shelves that Dollar Tree had, I know they do have them again. They come out with them every so often. This worked perfect as a stand on the back side of this sign. So I'm just using a lot of hot glue, gluing it to the back side so this stands up freely. And that is it for this one. So I wanted to use some summer items because that is what we have on hand right now if we want to do a fun Christmas in July. So I found this cute little mason jar sign, and I just ripped off the fruit on it, sanded it down a little bit to get all of that glitter off, because we all know that Dollar Tree has too much glitter on their signs. I did not want any of it on there. Using Crimson Red by Arteza and just kind of throwing it on there. I had to do 2 coats of this because you can tell that I definitely ripped something off, and it kind of took some of the extra cardboard or the paper that I wanted, those 2 spots. So it needed 2 coats because of that reason, but it ends up covering up really, really well. You can't see here, but I promise you it covers up pretty well. Once again, I just cut a fun decal out. This says Fresh Snow and Hot Cocoa. I thought this was perfect. And like I said, if you don't have a Cricut, you can always use something else. Stickers, free printables on Pinterest, whatever it may be that you want to use or what you have on hand. And then I thought this was a little plain, so I kind of just went in along the edges and just kind of dry brushed along it. I did end up painting the handle more white. And then I'm going to end up using some spackle. So you could use caulk for this. All I had on hand was spackle, but I wanted this to actually look more 3D, dimensional, give it a little bit of texture. I just kind of put this in a bag we had. It was like a treat bag from my kids' school. This does not look perfect by all means because I was having a really hard time. I cut it. It had 2 holes. It was a mess, but if you think about it, when you put whipped cream in your hot chocolate, it is not the most prettiest, but I did just kind of fix it as much as I could. I think this turned out really good. It took a day to dry, super fast dry time, super fast. I just had a bamboo straw we don't use. I cut it down and kind of just added it to the top once while this was still wet. And yeah, I just kind of mashed it down, used some sprinkles. These are like tube confetti from Dollar Tree. I was just going to use red, but I decided to use green. And like I said, you're going to see my little bamboo straw just kind of fit in right here. And more sprinkles. That is all I did for this one, and I think this turned out really cute for a summer sign. For this last one, I'm going to be using a sign I had from last year, a snowman, and I did just sand it down because I was trying to get as much as I could off so it would be pretty plain, and I was able to just do 1 coat of paint. I actually ended up doing 2 just because I did not sand everything off. Right now, our mosquitoes are so bad in our area, you can barely go outside without getting bit 5 times. So I did what I could without getting bit 100 times. Instead, I just got bit 50. But I'm just painting all of it white. I ended up going back in and doing the hat, so don't you worry, it's not just going to be a plain white snowman. Alright, and once the hat was done, I just grabbed some scrapbook paper. This is from Hobby Lobby. It's the same buffalo check that I used for Christmas countdown sign. I just wanted to give his scarf like an extra fun look. I love the buffalo check. I love farmhouse decor, so I thought this would look great for what I decorate with for Christmas. And this looked really cute. And then once this was done, I was going to do something with his hat with this as well, but I decided just to go back in with the checkered ribbon that I used for the snowman in the first DIY. So you guys, I'm saving a ton of money because I'm using the same stuff over and over again. I decided to just dry brush his hat because I don't know what it is with this hat. It was just so tall. It's such a really awkward, I think it's a pretty awkward looking hat. But anyways, we made it work. I left it. Maybe I should have cut it. If I would have cut it, I probably would have messed it all up. So it's probably just a good thing I left it how it was. And then I'm just going to be drawing his face on. I'm just using a Sharpie marker, some Arteza paint markers. I really like those. But yeah, I just kind of did it my own. I don't know. For some reason, I don't like Snowman smiling with like an actual smile. I know that might be weird, but I didn't want him to, I wanted to look like he had buttons on his mouth. It's just kind of like this style of snowman I like. So made his carrot nose, made some little button mouths, and that was all I did for this guy. And then once he was good to go, I just took some twine so I could tie it to a wreath because this is going to be the centerpiece of the wreath. And then I just have these holly berries. These were actually from Target last year. I picked up like 50 or 70% off, probably 70, sounds more like me. But they came in like a huge giant pack. I picked up 2 of these, so I will be using these in a ton of DIYs because I just like these holly berries, these berries. I think they're so cute. Maybe they're not holly berries, but they're some sort of berries. But you guys, that's it. That was the easiest wreath I've probably ever made. But if you guys liked this video and you love Christmas in July, give this video a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, I would love if you consider sticking around and subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!